All right, ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community. I'm back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the soldier, the enemy, also known in the G.I. Joe world as Cobra's foot soldier, the Cobra Trooper. So these were OG characters, often depicted in cartoons and comics as unintelligent, cowardly, and they also lacked the motivation of the later Cobra Vipers. So let's give a round of applause for this OG character in the Cobra world. In 1982, Series 1, we saw the release of the Cobra Trooper. There was 2 released that year. There was a trooper and an officer. Later in 1982, they released a version with the Cobra Missile Command headquarters. So why were these guys so unmotivated? Why were they such flunkies and lackeys, as described earlier? I think my take on it would be when Cobra Commander was chosen by Globulus, he sent Cobra Commander up to the outside world to take over that outside world. However, he did not send Cobra Commander with the Royal Guard. He sent them by himself. So I think Cobra Commander ended up coming up to the surface and pretty much finding whoever was willing to get on board and put them into the Cobra uniform. Now, that type of thing right there would lead anyone to be not motivated, or they're just there because. So I guess after 4 years, he probably realized, like, hey, these guys aren't working. I need to do a little bit more. So with that being said, he created the Cobra Viper, which was a little more trained, a little more of a unit that was going to help Cobra in their cause. But don't you think, I think Globulus wanted him to succeed, but he set him up for failure. And then we saw in the movie, he was ultimately dispatched by Globulus and Nemesis Enforcer. And if you really think about it, he succeeded, and he got treated poorly because of the way things went, but he succeeded. So, he built the whole Cobra organization, even though he didn't succeed in defeating G.I. Joe. I think ultimately they all underestimated G.I. Joe, because G.I. Joe, the original characters, were just coming off of the Vietnam War. They were war tested, they were battle tested, and they were hardened. It was just no ifs, ands, buts about it. They were not going to go easy. But in this particular video, I want to discuss the Cobra Trooper version 17, which you see before you, the Cobra Trooper of the Dollar General brand. So as stated earlier, this particular version of the Cobra Trooper was released in 2012 to mostly Dollar General. I don't think they were released in any other dollar store. I think Dollar General was the ultimate dealer of this particular figure. There are many different variants of the Cobra Trooper, quite a few. This one is version 17, like I said earlier, and it's Series 28. There are so many different versions of this character, but I don't think in the world of G.I. Joe that there were a bunch of different versions of them. I think there was just different uniforms. They were all the same guys that just put on different uniforms for different activities. So these guys don't have the best reputation. Ironically, they're one of my favorite groups within the G.I. Joe world. Um, it was this particular figure, I'll put it right here, the 50th anniversary and the 30th anniversary version is the ones that actually got me back into collecting. I would see them in the stores and I would say, you know what, those look cool, I should pick them up. But at that time, I wasn't into collecting, so I just kind of left them on the shelf. It was another figure that I actually grabbed and pulled the trigger, but the second figure that I bought was definitely going to be that. I believe I picked up the first one of these figures would be the 30th anniversary. So these figures were released pretty much plain Jane. They didn't have a lot of equipment. I believe they had web gear. They had, you know what, let's take a look at him. He's released simply with a helmet, this web gear, a knife that you see right there on the side of his leg, a very plain Jane figure stand. It had no name or anything on it, and he had a AK-47. Hopefully that's AK-47. Let's get that to zoom in a little better. There you go. And a sidearm. Get that to focus in a little better. I don't know if I can. All right, there we go. It's a little better. And that sidearm there was actually a sidearm from Marauders. So let's take a look at them. And also these knee pads are removable as well. So he has a little thigh holster right there. Let's do a quick 360. His helmet is removable. And this is what you have. Awesome. A really cool figure nonetheless. And I think, so if you were collecting back then and you either didn't know or chose to pass up on them because they were a Dollar General brand, then you missed an opportunity to grab an awesome team builder because, I mean, they're made just as well as the 50th, the 30th, and I think the the Pursuit of Cobra line also released one. They were made just as well. They just didn't have enough. They just didn't have as much equipment. However, with companies like Marauders and Joy Toy popping up, you can get awesome pieces of equipment to add to these characters. I mean, there's not a whole lot that I can say bad about the Dollar General line. They were all really great figures. So with this being said, I think I would give these guys a grade. And my grade for them is definitely going to be an A. Even with them missing out on all the equipment and not having everything that other figures had, this Dollar General line is definitely an A. I mean, I like the black gear that they're wearing. I like how they kept them pretty much identical to the original releases. They did them very well. They actually upgraded them and actually look way better than the original release. But at the same time, they look very much like the original release. There's so many different Cobra Troopers. I can't put them all right here. I'll put a few, or you've probably seen a few already as I create this video and add things in. I mean, I can't say anything bad about them. It would be nice to have a stand that says Night Trooper or something like that. But hey, it is what it is. And this is what you're getting. A jam up figure right here. So with that being said, I think I'm going to end this video right here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate you all. Thank you. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.